Okay guys, what we're going to look at now is simplifying square root functions. Now, you guys know now what a square root function is. So that's a function that looks like y equals the square root of x, or something similar. Okay, now, as I said to you in the last lesson, we can also have things like y equals 2 plus the square root of x, or we can have y equals, say, 5 plus the square root of, say, 6x. Okay, now what we want to do when we simplify square root functions is we want these to be in the form, all of them, into the form of y equals a plus b root x. Okay, so what we want is we don't want there to be any numbers in the square root with the x. Okay, now our first two, the y equals square root of x and y equals 2 plus the square root of x, they're already in that form. Okay, so we don't need to do anything with those ones. So let's take a look then at this third one here. Okay, y equals 5 plus the square root of 6x. Now, as I said to you, we want this to be in the form of y equals a plus b root x. Okay, so we want the number to be outside the square root and not inside of it. Okay, so if we have y equals 5 plus the square root of 6x. Okay, now that 6 needs to come out. So how do we get a number out of a square root? Well, before we said to you that if you have, for example, the square root of 12, that's the same as the square root of 4 times 3, which is equal to the square root of 4 times the square root of 3, which is equal to 2 root 3. That 2 is what happens when we take this 4 out of the root. Okay, we want to do something similar over here. So to get the 4 out of the root, we just took the square root of it. That's what's also going to happen here. So we have y is equal to 5, because that can't change, that's not in the root, plus the square root of 6 times the square root of x. Okay, so we're going to have 5 plus, now you're going to need your calculator for this one because we can't do square root of 6 in our head. So if you do the square root of 6, you will get approximately 2 point, and let me see how many decimals they want. They want 2 decimal places in this one. So 2.45 root x. Okay, so that's all we're doing today. We're just taking the number out of the square root. Okay, so let's do another couple of examples just to make sure you understand it. So if we have y equals 3 plus 4 root 2x. Okay, so this one's a little more complicated because we also have the 4 out the front. Okay, but we just treat it in the same way. So we're going to write it as y is equal to 3 plus 4 times the root of 2 times the root of x. Okay, so we get y equals 3 plus 4 times, and the square root of 2 is equal to 1.41. Okay, so 4 times 1.41, I'll make that quite clearly a times there, times root x. Okay, so this is now y is equal to 3 plus 1.41 times 4. Oops, what did I get there? Because I want it to be exact here. So we're going to get 5.66 root x. And there we have our answer. We have simplified it. Okay, and that's it for theory B today. Okay, so that means we finished off 4.5 and we're ready for 4.6 next lesson.